Hi, everyone, and welcome back to WTCA-TV Live, coming to you today from the Global Business Forum here in Bengaluru, India. I'm Barb Mitchell, and I'm joined by Brin, who's joining us from my fellow Canadian, joining us from the WTCA in Winnipeg. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah. Great to be here.
So tell our viewers a little bit about you and the WTCA Winnipeg.
Yeah, well, my name's Brin, or André Brin. I like saying I have a bilingual name and work both French and English. CEO at the World Trade Center Winnipeg. Very proud. We have a great team of people dedicated to helping Manitoba companies grow and look at international markets. So a small but powerful region with a ton of potential, and we think everybody should be looking to us, and that's where the responsibility lies on us to promote our region.
Right. And so you made the long journey over. I can relate. It's a bit of a long trip. Why was it worth it to you to make that journey?
There was no doubt that we were going to be here, and it was to what extent we have to be here. That's why we're part of a global network like this is to take advantage of these opportunities to bring our region to the world. And so this year we're here with 3 members of our staff, and probably would have had companies here, but it was a little trying to get them to join us. But we figure we can build for them and create connections and create opportunities for them. So it was absolutely essential for us to be here.
Yeah. So what's the most important part of the week for you? I mean, so many great things from everything. I mean, I know that we had there was the opening ceremonies last night, which were amazing, but there's, I know, information sessions going on just not far from us right now, and meetings happening and connections with local businesses. What of all of that and more, what's the most important to you?
To me, I think it's the networking at all levels. It's being able to connect with other World Trade Centers around the world, with their members, with businesses from around the world, and hopefully the idea is to connect them with our businesses, with the businesses in our region that want to look international. I say every element of the programming is great. The hospitality has been spectacular. So excited to be here. It's my first time in India, but I think that networking component and the idea of accessing the network and the extended network of what the World Trade Centers represent is invaluable to be able to be here.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more, once this week's over and people leave, what do you want them to remember about WTC Winnipeg and even maybe Canada?
Absolutely. I think the one thing we would like, first of all, that we exist, that Winnipeg's right there. We're a smaller community. We're maybe not the Toronto or Vancouvers of the world, but we're a community that thrives on export, that needs export. It's a very big part of our economy. We're not a big enough population to survive, so we have very innovative businesses, and they need to go to foreign markets to be able to flourish. So I think when you look to Canada and when you look to North America, I think all these other World Trade Centers and investors and businesses should give Winnipeg very strong consideration, and we'd love to give them the information to hopefully choose Winnipeg when the time comes.
Yeah. And is there anything you'd like to share with our French-speaking audience today?
You know what? I think the fact that we speak French. So, très fier d'être ici, de faire partie de l'initiative francophone du WTCA. Le Canada, évidemment, un pays bilingue avec beaucoup de gens qui parlent le français et l'anglais et beaucoup d'autres langues aussi. Mais au Manitoba, on est très fiers d'avoir une présence très francophone. Très fier d'être parmi les premiers signataires de l'initiative francophone et donc fier d'être ici et non seulement de représenter notre province, mais de représenter notre langue du côté de l'anglais et le français. Puis c'est excellent de faire partie de cette initiative.
Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, it's important to remember, I think, that Canada, there's many cultures represented in Canada. There's the French and English, of course, but even beyond that, and I think that's important to note, but also important, and I'd like your perspective too on just understanding as you've had, it's been a few days so far, but as we begin to be collectively exposed to all the opportunities in India, how does that work into some of the things you're thinking about for Winnipeg and again for business in Canada?
Well, I think the first thing that strikes me, and only a couple days in, is that we'll be back. I think we cannot ignore what's happening here in India, and I think there's great opportunities for our businesses, but we think there's great opportunities for India and Canada too. And as you spoke to the multi-ethnical aspect of Canada, a very strong Indo-Canadian contingent, and in Winnipeg especially. And I spoke to a number of entrepreneurs before coming here who were originally from India and talked about why they came to Winnipeg and why they came to Canada. So I think in both ways, I think we can really help each other. And so it's great to be here. It's great to connect with India. I joked that last year in Accra, the first two people I met were Vineet from the World Trade Center in Bengaluru and Niraj from the World Trade Center in Pune, and we're going to visit both of them while we're here. So it's just the beginning, I think, of a great relationship, hopefully, between World Trade Center and our clients at Winnipeg and the World Trade Centers in India.
And an interesting note, actually, the Canadian consulate is in this building, which I learned.
It's fascinating to see how many Canadian, diplomats, etc., are in World Trade Centers around the world. Those aren't the first that I've ever run into. So, and they're obviously great partners of ours too. Global Affairs Canada. We work very closely with them to help our Manitoba companies that want to work in foreign markets.
Yeah. So, any final words? I mean, just in terms of the trends that exist globally, and it's always interesting, I think, as we talk to people, there's things that people are feeling in their local communities that are also being felt around the world. Can you shed any light on any of those observations you may have?
Well, I think it's part of the discussions that are good to have here with others to see if the same trends reflect in other countries. So in Manitoba, I know the big piece right now is skilled labor shortage, is finding skilled labor. So that's one of the challenges for our companies that want to grow. So they're having to look to recruit talent, perhaps from foreign markets, and they're looking to innovate. So I think it's two very different streams, but I think that's going to be essential over the next 10 years for Manitoba's companies to thrive. And as I mentioned, I think there's really innovative products, but to be able to grow, to bring that to the world is the next challenge for them. And so I think I spend a lot of time when I come to these events listening and trying to understand where are the trends in other markets. And obviously, if it's sort of the opposite of ours, then I think that's where it's an interesting match, right? Yeah. Where there's perhaps when you hear in India, there's such a strong, skilled labor force.
Right.
Well, I think from back in Manitoba, I think they're going, well,
seems like a good match.
We'll borrow a few of them.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's realizing the potential, but it's really listening, it's hearing what's going on in every jurisdiction, and then figuring out where there's good matches for our members. So when it comes down to it, it's the success of Manitoba businesses that's most important to us, and that's what we strive for.
Yeah, amazing. Andre, thank you for joining us. So for people that may not get the chance to meet you here in person this week, maybe they couldn't make the journey over.
I'll try to meet everybody.
Yes. And for those that want to connect with you after, is there a good way for people to connect with you?
We're obviously on all the social media platforms. I can't remember all of our handles, but look for World Trade Center Winnipeg and you can connect. We're a small and mighty team. We like to say you'll be able to connect directly with me, one of our trade advisors. We have market research, etc. So specifically for any Manitoba let us know. Let us put our global network to work for you. I think that's where the value of this network really comes together, is when we have companies being able to access it.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good to meet you.
And thank you to our viewers for tuning in again here today to WTCA-TV. Until next time.